When the sheriff came calling, I could see the storm coming, but there wasn't a cloud in the sky. Mr. Roosevelt's coming to put in a parkway, and you notice is given hereby.
This is a story of colliding passions. You have the people who are passionate and had that sense of place, and then you had this group of people who just knew that this place would improve lives regionally.
Said the New Deal is coming and taking the mountain, and you'll all have to go from this place.
I constantly heard the story of my great-grandfather. He was going to go back and get his land. I got land on Fraser Mountain, and I'm going to go get it. They stole it from me, and I got land there, and I'm going to get it.
The park is the best thing that ever happened to the state of Virginia. Absolutely, without question.
The Blue Ridge Mountains were filled with Native Americans for thousands of years. And by that I mean small groups, family groups, extended family groups who would come to the mountains on a seasonal basis. The earliest sites that we have in the Blue Ridge are about 13,000 years old. There were over 400 generations of Native Americans who lived in the Blue Ridge. Over 400 generations of Native people.
So the group in power describes a group of people in a particular or dehumanizing way, and then that makes it easier to then persuade the larger public that those people should be moved. And so that happened with the American Indians, it happened with these white settlers who lived in Shenandoah National Park, it happens today.
If somebody came here today and told me, Mr. Lamb, we're going to take your place, well, he would have a fight on his hands. And so I don't have the anger, but I can understand why they do.
These are the individual.
There were surveys done of people and lists made of who was going to be effectively incarcerated after removal. If you lived in a way that the survey taker didn't like, perhaps you weren't married and you had children, well, then you're feeble-minded. You don't deserve to be, you need to be taken care of in certain ways. One is sterilization so that you don't have any more children, and another might be being put into the asylum.
And some there be which have no memorial, who are perished as though they had never been.
My mother, her parents, and then their parents, who were my great-grandparents on both sides, were displaced, and in fact, all of them, their homes were burnt down, and they were able to see the act of burning the house down, which had a lifelong effect on their feelings towards Shenandoah National Park.
I've told so many people here at the park that I think that it doesn't have anything to do with the land belonging to you. It has to do with you belonging to the land.
People now have a place they can come and put to rest any issues they have with the past and fight any demons they may have with the Shenandoah National Park, and realize that we have such a great asset that the park itself is in reality a memorial to our people.
To convince my dear Lessie we should move to the valley below. But she stood hard as bedrock with her eyes full of fury and said the mountain is our only home. Lessie had 8 children altogether up there, and I guess the last one she was pregnant with when she was when the family was evicted. So she was a very stubborn woman, very religious, thinking that at any moment the Savior would come and save the family. And so she sat in her rocking chair and wouldn't be moved from the place. She sat there, and she even then still felt like she was going to be saved somehow. The family was going to be able to stay, but they ended up carrying her in the rocking chair, and that's the iconic photo that somebody thankfully took, because it really is the photo that captures the pain of all the families, everybody that had to leave. She was heavy with child and as firm as the mountain. She refused to be moved from our place. You could hear her a-crying all the way to Dark Holler when they carried sweet Lessie away. You could hear her a-crying all the way to Dark Holler when they carried sweet Lessie away. Yeah.